Hello friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on December 4th, 2022. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet. Welcome to the Daily Dew, giving you your space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Checking out here the last 48 hours on our sun, 304 angstroms. Still watching two bright fiery regions turn into view, as well Earth-facing coronal hole right now, and a couple small CMEs not in an Earth-facing direction. Quick look here at the last 48 hours incoming, as we do have that bright active region on the right-hand side, has released two M-class solar flares and a couple more minor C-class, and the left one is fighting for supremacy. Having a look at the last 48 hours outgoing, large plasma filament lifting from the surface there, and then hovering just above for quite some time within the heliosphere of our sun. Pretty cool images there from SDO. Having a look at multi-spectrum, pointing out two active regions, and as well in the last few views there above the equator in the northern hemisphere, watching those regions as they produced a couple solar flares, C-class at that. Having a look at 171 angstroms, large elongated coronal hole coming into an Earth-facing view, as well pointing out those two regions there. Solar X-ray flux remains in a heightened C range after getting our M class yesterday and one the day before. Geomagnetic activity is elevated now to +4. Real-time solar wind, we're sitting at about 500 kilometers per second after being up today to about 530. And that is all set to change in the coming days, as we do have some space weather coming our way. Looking at that large swath of energy coming around the sun, we are expecting that 13th into the 14th of December. Other than that, we've been missing some big events. Nothing major thwarted our way. Schumann resonance is a power of 7 for today. That's 3 days of a low, healthy reading of 7. Quality of 9, power 4, amplitude of 7. Now let's get to earthquakes past 24 hours, as we're sitting at about 200 earthquakes across the USGS right now, which is average. But we did see our largest earthquake today, Hahefo, Tonga, 6.7 earthquake, 35 kilometer depth. As well, lots of activity through the Solomons, and as well Isangal, Vanuatu, 5.5, 144 kilometer depth. No tsunami was forecasted with that large earthquake. 4.4 here, Gorontalo, Indonesia, as well a 5.0 here in Pekaran, Indonesia, 599 kilometer depth. That's the deepest EQ today, and a pretty strange area for that. As well, Singgil, Indonesia, 4.8. We had Semeru, which is a volcano, active volcano in the area. Large eruption observed today. As well, a 4.4 earthquake there, Hebei, China. 4.6 in Nichiren, Japan. 4.8 earthquake here in Chagos region. As well, pretty rare earthquake here, 5.5 in Gabon, Africa, right along the coast. As well, active today, Stromboli with another eruption. 4.4 earthquake reported Italy, as well 4.2 Greece. 5.4 earthquake here, Erech Janes Ridge. Also a 5.2 reported, so increasing activity through the North Atlantic. Activity coming back to the Caribbean, largest through the region, was a 3.6, Puerto Rico. And then we get to South America, we're seeing increased activity there as well. 5.1, Argentina, 162 kilometer depth. As well, a 4.3 there in northern Chile. across North America. Largest being a 3.5, Toya, Texas, and a couple new earthquakes, minor at that, towards the Carolina states. Activity coming back to Hawaii as well. Seismicity continuing, largest being a 3.1 there. And that's the last 24 hours for earthquakes. A quick browse at the last 7 days. And as I noted yesterday in the earthquake update, we were expecting something large coming. It had been a very quiet week and nothing over 6 pointer. But now today, with 6.7 earthquake, high Tonga. We kind of seem to be balancing out. But that deep earthquake, Indonesia, is a little bit concerning. We'll be expecting a larger, shallower earthquake to follow there. Now let's have a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent satellite imagery from around the world, as well noting out the most recent volcanoes getting updated. 168 active hazards right now across the globe. Looking at Semeru in Indonesia, as well as Sangay in Ecuador, Sabancaya in Peru, Nevadas de Ruiz, Colombia, Reventador in Ecuador, Fuego in Guatemala, Dacono in Indonesia, Popo in Mexico, Stromboli in Italy. It has been dormant for the last couple months, as well as Sheveluch, Russia, Mauna Loa, of course, the United States, Hawaii. So that's about 11 volcanoes getting updated today amongst the 50 that are active and erupting across the planet. Having a look here at satellite imagery across the rest of the world, tsunami watches were put out across the Pacific, but no tsunami was imminent. 3-4 hours ago, that 6.7 earthquake rocked Fiji, not affecting mankind or any islands in the region. Quick look here around the rest of the world for weather. Interesting low coming into southern parts of Spain and Morocco, as well as stormy conditions rolling through parts of central West Africa. Now let's have a look at our sulfur emissions map. This is forecast models for the next few days, as we are sitting at 180 parts per milligram of sulfur dioxide content right now across North America. And that has literally swept across the world now. All of the emissions from Mauna Loa have swept across the equator of our planet and up into our northern hemisphere, atmosphere, slowly shifting westward. Crazy days we're living in, folks. Stay aware and prepared. Now let's have a look at world weather. Starting out here overlooking North America, we've got a couple nasty snowstorms heading through Manitoba and Ontario this week, and then up into Quebec. Southeastern states, watch for stormy conditions Wednesday to Thursday as a low comes out of Colorado, but smashes into very cold, high-pressure ridge. But then watching the long-range forecast, stormy conditions along the East Coast, and things are really setting up for a wet and wild week here across BC, Washington. Got 1, 2, 3 low pressure systems coming in by next Sunday. Set to bring lots of snow through the prairies as well. Extreme cold conditions are already flooding across the Canadian prairies. Other than that, it's going to be pretty dry across the east and very wet across the west. Having a look at South America, daily evaporation rains. But in the long-range forecast, watch for things to really get hectic through Argentina and the border with Paraguay. Could see some extreme weather breaking out there in the long-range forecast. right there. Overlooking Africa, daily evaporation rains, nothing major to report. Europe, Spain, you have a low pressure system heading into you now, and there's 2 more on their way, just kind of beelining for you. As well as some more northern systems are starting to penetrate Eastern Europe, and as well the cold is moving in, watching for minus double digits in higher elevations through parts of Central Europe. Overlooking Southeast Asia and the West Pacific, daily evaporation rains through central regions. Strong system heading into parts of southern India and Sri Lanka. No major typhoons or cyclones to talk about. Quick show here of this system racing towards southern India and Sri Lanka. Looks like by Wednesday, Thursday, it'll be making landfall through Bengaluru. Overlooking Australia. Gray days in the south as lines of moisture come sweeping through, but nothing major affecting you in the long range. You could have a low pressure system affecting parts of Tasmania and southeastern Australia. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Daily Dew. Here for you. Stay aware, prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your Daily Dew. We'll see you next video. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.